All right, good evening and welcome to Futbol in Vivo on Club Deportes, show number 20. We air every Monday at 10 p.m. on clubdeportes.com. Follow us on Twitter at FutbolAustin, Futbol Austin. Follow Club Deportes at Club Deportes for all the latest and greatest sports news and commentary. Be like David Alvarez and visit clubdeportes.com every single day. I am your host, Eric McCoy, and I am joined by a man thrilled that his favorite team, Real Madrid, has won yet another Champions League final. It is David Alvarez.
Hey, what, 14?
14.
14. Hey, merengues.
14, right?
14. You got it. 14.
A la Madrid.
A
La Madrid, huh?
Wow, I couldn't believe it. The team.
You got the beads on to celebrate?
Yes,
Don't
I
tell
did.
me what you did to earn those beads,
Not only
David.
that, but I
Family
also
show,
voted.
family show.
Hey, I voted too. So.
Oh, there you go.
Little civic duty, little party.
Yeah,
as well.
I supposed
Perfect.
to vote where last time, but I didn't have the chance. But yeah, the best team won. The team that beat all the best teams in the world: PSG, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City. It is a real.
All right, we'll get into that in just a bit here, David. But first, just want to say I am also joined by a man who will finish this show with much more enthusiasm than Austin FC had when they finished their match with the LA Galaxy.
Oh.
It is, of course, Jorge Chavez.
Thank God for the international break. We got a lot of fixing to do.
Yes, a lot of resting. I
Yeah,
think
a
lot of resting might be needed. But let's not waste any time here. Let's get right down to it. It was a much less pleasant trip to LA this past week for Austin FC than it was last week for Austin FC, as their 1-0 lead versus the Galaxy very quickly turned into a 4-1 defeat. Jorge, let's start with you.
Yeah.
What on earth happened?
Heck if
I'm
I
hoping
know.
you know because
That's kind of my answer there. They started off well, but one thing that I noticed kind of throughout the game is that the possession that Josh Wolf instills in the team, they always want to have possession. It did not happen at all.
But
during this game.
that was a common big error because before.
Yeah, that was the first big
even
error.
before, and then he just failed. It's
Yeah,
sort of
I want to
like
get
it was
into
so odd.
a deeper
Why
culminant
did he do-
discussion later
Yeah.
because this was a tough match for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
this
then,
was
but
a- yeah.
this was an awful shot by Chicharito. Tell you the truth, he didn't put power. in
Yeah,
that.
he's-
If you need to put power, if you're gonna put it in the opposite side,
That's
you
a
need
bad
to put a lot
penalty,
of
right?
power.
Yeah,
Very
that's a
bad.
bad
You need to
shot.
put power. He didn't put power.
Stuver did his job.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, Stuart did his job.
Not great from Chicharito.
He put it kind of in the middle, not like in the middle. He didn't put it even on the side. So,
But when you put him by himself 1v1, I mean, no goalkeeper is gonna be able to stop everything.
but this
and that's
was
kinda
like
what
I
happened.
didn't see that humble, but of course he was there, and but Chicharito tried to do something, but he it's a dishonest. It reminds me of Maradona when he did the hand of God.
Well,
Doesn't it?
That's a pretty.
Yeah, he's
pretty
like
different.
it was a
MLS
handball.
regular season versus World Cup. A little,
When-
little
when I-
different
when I-
circumstances.
And
when I-
dishonesty. He's not gonna play for the Mexican team.
When I saw it live, I did see the ball take a weird bounce.
I think it went off
after
his
it
hand.
hit his foot.
I think.
So I
But
figured,
this
no,
was
something-
by
it
Wolf.
touched something.
Wolf
so-
assist to Fagundes was awesome, and this puntete with his toe.
That was great.
that's
Wolf-
a-
Great assist,
that
great
was
shot.
a
Who got
shot.
recently up?
Wolf did an awesome job there with that
and he
assist.
just got called up to the under 19.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
national
It's kind of
teams.
the excuse for like taking him off the field when he should have not been.
Well, we
taken
can
off.
get into that because I think there is a discussion
Yeah,
to be
but
had.
look at
over
he
the
got the
substitutes
ball
in this
from the
match.
bottom, and then Fagundes took the
What a
decision.
shot!
Yeah,
with
I think
that was a
no
good sequence.
time.
One of
That
us
was a
on
good
last
sequence.
week's show was saying that Fagundes needs to shoot more. I
There it is.
believe that
He
was
does
your-
need to
your,
shoot more.
Your
And-
beloved host here.
And but after that, they just fell apart.
Yeah, this was the moment when Chicharito scored a
Yeah, I mean,
golazo, like a great touch by
they
the
laid
sub.
it out to him for an easy shot.
And that was really the issue,
No, it
right?
was
Attacking
beautiful
down
goal.
the wings. We saw that from the Galaxy throughout
they
this
did,
match, wanting
yeah.
to just
Except for that
exploit-
last goal, which is just a heck of a pass. But when you have one of the all-time goal scorers for Mexico in a position like that, he's probably going to score. And then this, I mean, attacking again from the
Yeah,
wings.
just right down the wing, and that came
That's
off.
awful. Komenic again.
Komenic again.
Doing like, and instead
just-
of using his
Just
right, he used his left.
kicking it away
That was so
from the
basic.
box.
And he got lucky too, but that was awful.
Yeah, this was a tough
errors.
afternoon for
Two
John.
errors by
It was
Komenic.
a
You know, like,
very tough afternoon for him.
like there. No, use the right. Don't use the left. It's easy.
Kick it away and hide.
If
And he
only
did not
Coach
do that.
Alvarez was around
Yeah.
to offer some guidance here.
Yeah, so,
I mean,
but
the
after
same
that,
thing.
I don't think they even had another shot on goal.
Oh, that was
He did.
gorgeous. He just
That was a beautiful
lob.
goal.
That's a beautiful lob.
But
that
again-
kid made the difference, right? He totally made the difference in the game.
You know,
So
I love the jersey number too, 99. You don't see a lot of that.
that I think a
Jovic-
lot of people complained, by the way, that they couldn't
Look,
read.
Jovic got it again. Like he was another. He did a beautiful
Yeah,
scissor
that was
pass.
an incredible scissor
It's
kick
two
pass.
assists and 2 goals, right?
Yep.
For Jovic.
I
He made the difference.
He had a heck of a game. 2 assists, 2 goals. Really, not much Austin FC could do. I mean, but once the second goal was done, that built up the confidence for the Galaxy, and they just I don't remember them having very much possession or even a shot on goal again after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
Austin
just-
FC
it just-
really faded.
a lot.
I don't think there should be too much debate over this, Davi, but this was Austin FC's worst defeat of the season, correct?
Yeah. I
By
mean,
far,
By
yeah.
far, it's the worst defeat. And the way it came, like a couple of errors, like it could have been more, if the penalty was saved, but that was Cummings'
That's
error again. Two huge errors in the game, because like he almost kind of clumsily did after penalty that one time, and then the second time also it was a lack of like technique, not to get rid of the ball on time. So that was big. And then the new kid, he just like, what are you gonna do with them? Like he just comes in the 60th minute and he just totally
60th
changed the
minute,
game.
Yeah, Jovic came on in his 57th
Single-handling.
minute. Yeah, and absolutely changed the game. Okay, I have a couple questions here. Let's start with John, because you touched on a couple of interesting things there, David.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first thing I want to talk about is Kolmanic. So, yeah, conceded the early penalty, had that awful clearance, and really throughout this season, he has struggled for playing time with John Gallagher, a player who is just starting to play that fullback position. Kolmanic, I think, was probably one of the few bright spots on this Austin FC team last season. So,
Yeah.
so just in general, David, how concerned should we be with Kolmanic's form at the moment?
I mean, we say in Spanish, una golondrina no hace verano. It's like you cannot, just because he had a bad day, he has been pretty consistent. I mean, he's not being consistent, but he's not that bad.
I don't know. Would you agree with this, Jorge? 'Cause
I-
I feel like he's been a little substandard for
I mean,
a good chunk of
I
the
like
season.
when he comes off the bench. When he comes off the bench,
But he's
That's
a
what I was gonna
U22
mention,
initiative
that-
player. He shouldn't be coming off the bench. He should be a starter. That's an important roster spot.
And also, he should not have been supplanted by a guy learning the position.
Absolutely.
I mean, my respect to Gallagher, because he's pushed him enough.
And
so that
Gallagher's
he's
done
really
well.
the
Like,
star-
Gallagher's
he's
done
done
well.
really well.
Yeah.
He's learned it well. And so, but offensively, he's a much better player, obviously, than Kolmanic, because he that
He's a
was his
winger.
better and butter. And so he knows both sides of the ball, and that is probably why he's a little ahead of Kolmanic. But like you said, he's got some credentials that shouldn't have him in that position. He should be ahead, and it should be the reverse. Kolmanic starts, and Gallagher comes in the 60th and 70th minute to spell him. It's the opposite. And so I don't know what that does to the confidence of Kolmanic, but that's definitely one of the things that needs to be worked on for the next couple of weeks.
I think so. Yeah, I'll send you a little bit of time off after this match.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Kolmanic can kind of figure things out. Here's a bit of a theory. I want you guys to see if I'm maybe overthinking this. But I think one of the things this season that we've seen from Austin FC versus last season is that the fullbacks are much more conservative, I think, this season versus last season. I think last season, Josh Wolf really one of those fullbacks to push up and join in the attack. And I think this season they've been much more conservative. And in part, I think that's why Austin FC, this match with the Galaxy notwithstanding,
You're right.
have been much better at stopping counterattacks.
Yeah.
And I think Kolmanic, his bread and butter is getting forward, flying down the wing, sending in those crosses. That's where you're really going to get the most value out of him. And so him actually in this kind of newer role of a more conservative fullback, I don't know if that really suits him. And I think this was a match where, yeah, you could see he really got torched defensively. So do you think that might be part of the issue, is that he's asked to do a role that maybe he just doesn't really excel at?
Kind of comparing last season to this season.
I know you were riveted by that question, David.
The back four.
You were just so focused. Sorry to interrupt your e-reader.
One of the things that happened last year that I really liked was the play of Beasler. I thought before he got injured, they played pretty well because the guy has experience. He could tell Cascante he was kind of like the quarterback of that line, and that allowed both Lima and Colmanich to go ahead and go forward. And this year, I think they have an even better player with Gabrielson. Mm-hmm. So I'm not understanding what the hesitation is for being that conservative on the wings. I mean, on the left and the right backs. If anything, that should give them more, permission to do that, and they're really not.
Yeah,
I'm not understanding if it's just the players themselves that do this, or if Wolf has sort of instilled that. But I don't think it's Wolf. I'm not sure what's going on.
I think one of the differences is that last season, Ring would generally sit next to Pereira.
Yeah,
whereas this season, Ring is much more pushing forward. Right. So I think because of that, I think he's asking the fullbacks to stay back so Ring can get forward. Now, should he be doing that?
No.
I think that's a question worth asking.
Definitely, that's something they need to fix because I did see Chris Bills. He did put out the information about the kind of the job really that Ring has, and it's not to score goals; it's to create opportunities. So that could be part of something that he really needs to hand the reins over to Pereira. He's done a fabulous job of assists, of going forward. So I think they're kind of both trying to play the same position sometimes, and that gets confusing. And Ring, to be honest, he's a much better defensive central midfielder than an offensive one. So I think they really need to go back, sacrifice his position going forward to go back to what was working last season. Having Gabrielson there as well, they have basically a triangle of defenders that can really, I think, stand up to any attack in all of MLS. And that'll open up Colmanich or Gallagher and Nick Lima or Jimenez, whoever ends up starting, to actually move forward. So that clears up you sacrifice one offensive player to kind of create two offensive players. And I really think that's what they need to do with the practice.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I was actually looking into some of Ring's numbers just because, it's definitely something we've talked about a lot, the struggles that he's had in that more advanced position. And really, between the boxes, between the defensive penalty box and Austin FC's attacking penalty box, he's great. Like he does so much
does really
great stuff, and the numbers are good except for the final ball, the assists, the goals, just not there. So I wonder, a rethink there, maybe push him back a little bit, maybe allow Pereira to get a bit more adventurous, or get Colmanich flying down the wing, whip in crosses, stretch the opposition defense a bit. I think that could be a good strategy.
They need to start letting these guys go and just trust that Gabrielson and Cascante will handle the job. And the thing is that I think the back four confused at times of who they're supposed to be playing, how they're supposed to defend, because and it's illustrated by Colmanich. He was lost pretty much throughout the game yesterday against the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So if he has a better definition of what his role is, I think that would help. But also trusting that Gabrielson and Cascante can do the job, and they can't do the job without that defensive central midfielder, which is Ring. Mm-hmm. So
is that where you stand on this, David?
What was the question again?
David, pay attention, man. Come on. Alex Ring, should he play further forward, or should he be in that more defensive role that we saw last season?
But I think we talked about that every last show.
So you should be ready to go with the take.
I know, but I just want to make sure it's like we're still talking about him. It's like,
we're still talking about him. We're still talking about him.
Okay, and I think that's
because it keeps being an issue. So we got to keep talking about
because he's supposed to be playing in the back this time, behind Drusi, right? In this game, he was behind Drusi. Drusi is supposed to be playing in the... That was the position. There was a 4-2-3-1 with the Ruti on top.
Now, they'll list it on... I've seen on different apps, they'll list it as a 4-2-3-1, but if you look at it, actually watch the matches, he gets very high and into that right half space.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be playing back. Rusi is supposed to be playing in that position during the game. I mean, looks like a formation. Do you think Ring is
just going rogue and just deciding, hey, I'm going to push forward? He keeps doing it. That's
the bottom line.
What he's doing,
That's the bottom line.
I actually asked Wolf in a press conference about this, and he says Ring has a lot of positional freedom. He said Ring could, they have different rotations, and he has the freedom.
I think you need to.
I think the one that needs to have that freedom is Driussi. He's the one that should. Yeah, I think Driussi reads the games better than Ring.
Yeah, of course he does.
And so he really needs to be the one to be given that position.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue that I saw in this Galaxy match. LAFC, I think, really struggled in the beginning playing through the Galaxy press. It was the same story that we've seen in a lot of matches. For
and we've talked about that before against pressing teams. Austin FC.
We've talked about it, David. So you don't need to criticize it. We know we've discussed it. But one thing that I really noticed that happened in this match was Driussi was dropping deep. About the first 15 minutes or so, he wasn't. Yeah, and then he started coming deep repeatedly. And LAFC could get around the Galaxy press well with Driussi doing that, but once they got to the attacking third, then no one was in the box.
It was just
a big U-shape right around the actual penalty area.
With four blue shirts
and
for the Galaxy.
I don't know who gave out the last goal. I mean, I think who was playing in the... Was Gallagher that gave it out the last time?
Gallagher made a poor pass.
The error at the end. No, the last goal
with the bicycle kick.
I thought it was
Joveljic. Yeah, when Joveljic got the bicycle kick.
I can't remember who's the
because he wasn't bad. It was a gift pretty much, and Joveljic just took the first. He got on the air, gorgeous pass, and Alvarez just killed. Stuber, nothing
about
to do.
These Alvarezes just always
just
troublemakers.
It feels really hurt. It really hurt to lose this way. There's no need to lose that way.
Yeah.
When you say that, David, what do you mean by that? When you say this way, just
like the way, like really, we're bullied, like we're bullied, like by LA pretty much, the way we were playing there and. Like they have how many shots they have? All the shots were on goal. We have like two, like sort of like
9 to 3.
There was 3 shots on goal
in favor of the Galaxy. Yes,
it's crazy. That doesn't matter the possession. That's what matters. How many shots on goal you have? That's the more important stats.
Right, and it goes back to what you said that whenever they would get to that final third. There was no opportunity to take that shot.
Because Urruti was dropping very deep.
He was and he's the one that's.
And Stuber he got a great game. He made a couple huge saves.
But he can't be like that.
The penalty
every single game. The guy's gonna get tired.
Yeah,
and it looks like he just got tired at the.
Speaking of Stuber, David, I want to bring something up.
Yeah,
because on last week's show, you were critical of him playing out from the back. You said that this was critical of it. Now, on the second Galaxy goal, what starts that actually is Stuber kicking it long, and it leads to a 50-50 that the Galaxy win and then drive straight back down and score a goal. Now, how come on my Twitter feed I didn't see people saying, "Why do you kick it long? Why do you kick it long?" No one said anything about that. But it could be. My point exactly was last week, whenever you play it short and you make a mistake, you build from the back. That's why this happened. When you kick it long and make a mistake, well, it's down to the individual. It's down to the individuals.
Yeah.
But it is a much higher percentage pass to play a pass 5 yards than it is to play a pass 50 yards.
That is true.
Yeah. So, just saying.
No, I think it's a good point.
Sorry for that digression, but I wanted to bring it up.
I have to clarify. Stuber. I have to clarify because I was told that I had a bogus claim about Stuber.
You did. So we actually had a comment, and I encourage anyone who disagrees with anything that we say on this show.
We talk in Spanish, actually. The same person that was next to me in the Spanish show was the person making the comment.
I noticed that, yes.
So the evidence, what was the evidence? The first was a gift by Stuber. And the second one was half of the gift of Stuber. I mean, what are you going to do about it? Like, he conditioned the entire game. were conditioned by the game because of Stuber. Sorry. I mean, what are you going to do? You messed it up.
I disagree.
You may have come down a little harsh on Brad.
I never say that.
Our audience,
I never say that
they
he
let
should
their
be.
opinion be heard.
It should not be the main
Ball
goalie.
handle.
You know, I'm not saying that he's not going to be the main goalie. He made mistakes. Everybody
he should just not handle the ball. Pretty much.
It's pretty much what happened with Comaneci today. You make an error. just everybody makes.
They are a little high.
Some people make errors more often than others,
but in this particular game, I don't really blame Stuber for all the stuff. It was the back four.
Don't play with your feet. One thing, two things. You gotta know. Don't play with your feet if you don't know how to play with your feet. And number two, if you don't know how to play with your feet, you're gonna be afraid when some people come to you.
Actually,
you
can
get
play
really
with their
afraid.
feet.
So and the third thing, if you're gonna kick the ball hard, do it correctly. Just pass the ball. Do a nice pass, 40-yard nice pass. Just keep the ball
because if they're
Use both
pressing,
legs,
that means
that's it.
Just
be better.
If they're pressing, if the Galaxy was pressing, that means that there's a minimal in the midfield or in the back four. Yeah. He kicked it way far away instead of in the midfield where he has a better percentage.
Going a little bit deeper on that.
So I think Stuber took your criticism to heart, man.
But also, he's watching the show.
He watched the show.
David's watching the show.
David's watching. I gotta kick it away.
Okay, but also the other thing you need to do better is the long passes with the hands, the long passes. Like you do it, and he doesn't do that.
That is
a
long hand passes.
If any of you disagree with what this man is saying, just feel free to comment.
Okay.
I will be very happy
but
to
it's
read
not
those
the problem.
Very
it's
happy
not
to
the
read
problem. It's the philosophy is the problem.
I think Miguelito in the back. He might disagree.
Miguelito's disagreeing. We'll get him in here.
Don't play from the back. That's it. Don't play from the back.
Okay. This is going to be a topic that we revisit in the future,
yes,
I am sure.
Definitely.
But I want to move things along here. You've alluded to this a couple times, David. Joveljic, excellent in this game for the Galaxy. 2 goals, 2 assists. Efrain Alvarez, a Galaxy substitute, also added a goal and an assist as well. Austin FC subs, nothing. They contributed nothing. In terms of
with
goals
Douglas
and
Costa, that was.
he was injured, I believe.
I think he was injured. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, this match right here. Galaxy have 3 goals, 3 assists coming off their bench. Austin FC, nothing. Is this a good example of just how Austin FC really lacked that attacking depth?
Yeah, I think we commented before the game that we were like, we might win that game because we saw how weak LA could be. But we couldn't do it. Like we couldn't.
Honestly,
we couldn't do it, and they just took advantage of all our weaknesses, and we had exactly the problem was we didn't have a bench.
The bench wasn't there this time
we talk about having all this June May schedule was going to be tough. And he actually was pretty tough.
It was pretty tough.
It was pretty tough.
I think we already mentioned it, 4 points out of 15 possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's abysmal.
And I give it a lot of benefit of the doubt, even for the last game too. But at the end of it, everything cracks down. We don't have that.
Which is odd because, speaking of that, of the, abysmal points that they accumulate, they're still in 4th place.
Yeah.
And not far away from first either. It's just
5 points off first, and they're 6 points clear of the playoff line.
And everybody gets hurt too. I mean, everybody is not playing at the biggest level, and we have teams that don't have a coach now. Like
Charlotte just got their coach.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there's the table right there. Yeah. So I have a couple more questions for you guys, but this seems like a good time to go ahead and do something that I was wanting to do. I want to, as Austin FC are about to embark on a little break, and I think we might be taking a little break as well.
Yeah.
I just want to get, David, you're a teacher. You educate young minds every day. That's what you do, and you excellent work there. So I want you, Austin FC, to this point in the season, if you could give them a letter grade, what letter grade would you give them? And I want you to make sure that you go bold with this letter grade. I don't want any indecisiveness at all. Because
I want
if there's any indecisiveness,
our own version.
We've got a brand new football and Vivo chicken of indecisiveness. I don't know what happened to the last one. You had
it disappeared.
You took that one last week, and we never saw it again. So we had to replace the chicken of indecisiveness. This is FEV chicken of indecisiveness junior.
Yes.
So what do you got, David?
For what? For
The
Letter grade.
I think the letter is an F.
F.
Failing
That's
grade.
a little harsh, don't you think? I mean,
They
are in fourth
That's not
place.
indecisive. I'll give you that. That's not indecisive.
that's not indecisive, that's for sure.
Fourth. So just to recap. Before the season.
I have higher standards, you know what I mean? I have very high
Obviously.
standards. It's
Before,
like-
obviously.
Jeez. Wow.
Before the season, none of us had this team in the playoffs.
No.
Here we are. They're in fourth place, and you give them an F.
Because we don't have a bench right now, man. We can do it.
No
we can
bench
do it.
gets you an F.
Yeah, we need something. I mean, I think Owen needs to stay. I mean, Wolf, he should be playing more. He's showing that he can do, but I don't know why he's being sub. So stuff decisions.
Yeah,
like
that was an odd move.
It's
I
small
do agree.
decisions that really affected, and that's what the job of the coach is to make the right subs. Like that's it. There's no other main job of the coach is to make the correct sub. Well, also motivation and everything else, right? That comes in like with that, but. In this case, when you make it right sub, you will see the good result. And in this case, we're not seeing that.
So how many students actually passed your class, David?
Everybody.
Just like,
Everybody
did
passes.
you do a curve?
I mean, some people know. Everybody passes, But some people like want to pass with a 90. It's like, no. They're not going to have a 90. Right. So that's the problem.
That was the kind of kid I was.
What grade would you give Austin FC?
I say a B minus.
B minus.
Because there were extemporaneous factors, and one of the biggest ones is Cecilio Dominguez. Mm-hmm. I think if what didn't happen, and he would have been in the lineup, they would have been much better off. But him being a DP and arguably one of the more important positions on the team, and suddenly you yanked it away, you're down to Ethan Finley and now Owen Wolf. Finley's not the player he used to be.
Has Owen Wolf, is he supplanted Finley as the number one starter until the Cecilio situation?
Yeah. Well, you don't get called up to the U.S. national team under 19 for nothing. So kids got it.
Yeah.
And so I agree with David. They should play him more, give him the experience that he needs.
Play GT more, man. Play more aggressive. Like you cannot You have to be aggressive. You got to be aggressive. Exactly. You cannot get it down and get beat up.
And I think that's the problem that Redes and Gite have, that they don't do what Owen Wolf does. And he gets into position. He fights for the ball.
He hustles.
And he hustles. He hustles.
That's what the goal. Fagundes' goal was because Wolf hustled.
Right.
Twice.
Yeah. And
twice,
so,
and then it assists after that.
And it's really, if you divide the games in the first half and the second half, it's just night and day. The first 5-6 games that they played, they were great. And we talked about this outside in our parking lot a few minutes ago, and we agreed that Wolf should not have been given that extension at the time that he was given.
No.
Why not?
The timing was
undeserved.
We talked about this.
Deserve that extension so early.
After
even people get fired for way less.
Charlotte got fired for way less, and a much more pedigreed coach. And so I think we kind of agreed that he should have at least waited until the All-Star break to be given that extension.
After this game.
or the international break.
Like I said, I don't think there was any reason. I mean, no one was beating down the door trying to sign Josh Wolf. Really?
Well, probably they want to give him peace of mind. I think for peace of mind side, I think it was a good idea.
And the peace of mind.
Are you concerned about Josh Wolf's peace of mind?
In that perspective, it was a good idea, but. And overall, I think it was not.
Hindsight being 2020, yeah.
Okay, I asked this question last week. I think I have a new segment idea.
All right.
It's going to be called Father or Son.
Okay.
So who do you like more right now? Wolf the father or Wolf the son? We'll start with you, David.
Well, I already said it. It's the son. Not that about it.
So Teen Wolf?
Yeah.
Teen Wolf Jr.
3 for 3.
Yeah.
And I give Austin FC a B. I think I'm leaning towards B minus. I'm going to take the chicken.
But I want to hear your harshest criticism of the game.
Yeah.
Of the last game.
Of the team.
What would you have done as a coach differently?
There we go. Father and son.
Father and son.
Perfect timing, Jerry. Don't have to answer the question. I love it. Just excellent. No, I would say my harshest criticism of the team, and I just don't think that the roster is good enough. I don't think that's a Josh Wolf problem. I think Josh Wolf has a fine philosophy. I think he seems to be getting buy-in from the players. I just don't think the players are good enough, and I don't think the bench is good enough. In particular, particularly the attackers. The Galaxy can go to Jovic. They can go to Efrain Alvarez. These are big-time players.
And Douglas Costa.
SFC go to
Douglas Costa
Ethan Finley, a journeyman. He was a U.S. national team player 5-6 years ago. But he's not that anymore. Felipe Martin's journeyman midfielder to try and come on as an attacker to change the game around.
Yeah, that's really
I know.
not
To me, the discussion on Wolf is frankly, it's funny to me, so I like having it on this show. It gets you fired up, David. But I think the issues with us FC are far bigger than just who the coach is.
And we didn't mention Cabral too for
they have
LA.
that's a team with depth, talent, and us FC don't have the squad to compete with that. Okay, so a couple of things. Speaking to Austin FC's squad, Austin FC. I was looking at some numbers, David. I know you love numbers. Austin FC, they have the 4th most possession in Major League Soccer this season, but they rank in the bottom half of the league in terms of shots on target per match. It was an issue in this game against the Galaxy. They actually won the possession, but had much fewer shots on goal. Why is that, do you think? Why do you think this team struggles to put shots on goal, despite having as much of the ball as they have?
They haven't practiced, shot on target, pretty much.
So they just don't practice shooting. That's the problem.
I mean, obviously, they're not putting shots on target. They haven't practiced enough because obviously the numbers are right there.
All right, Josh Wolf, just have your team practice kicking the ball.
Practice more.
On high speed. Like this cup in Liverpool, like the way they do the practice, you can see it on YouTube. It's hard to do it, but you can do it.
Next press conference we're at, David, send Josh Wolf the link to that YouTube video. Make sure he's aware of it.
It's hard to do it, though.
What do you think, Jorge? Why does this team struggle to put the ball on goal?
I think it goes back to what we've been discussing not only in this segment but in previous shows, is the position of Driussi and Ring.
That's good.
I think those two guys are the keys to success or unsuccess of the team. And really, I mean,
it really is Ring.
The way Pereira is playing, he really should be playing more up front and Ring going back to his old position.
Yeah, that's it.
I talked a little bit to the Cooligans, Alexis and those guys, and he used to be at NYCFC, and that's their team. They follow NYCFC, and they said that we got a really good player in Alex Ring. But all the time he was playing in Austin, in NYCFC and the first year here, he played great because he played the position that he was used to. But now that he wants to move more forward, I don't know if that's the decision he wanted or the decision that is asked of a DP. I don't think he should have gone to a DP. I really don't. Because DPs, and we've talked about this before, they really should be the offensive players.
And generally they are.
And since he was named the DP, it just goes with the territory that he knew to be an offensive player. But that was never his game. And so I think he really should go back to the position he was in, have Driussi be the one that dictates where he wants to go, and then you'll see better passes for the front forwards.
I think this is a really great point, Jorge, because I actually think, if you have Ring as the one dropping deep, and he's the one that actually helps facilitate Austin FC building the ball up, and you have Driussi waiting in dangerous pockets of space in the attacking third, I think that would be a big help for this team getting shots on goal. Because right now, Driussi's the guy. He's the guy that's having to progress the ball up the field. He's the guy that's having to play the pass to set up the shot. And frequently, he's the guy that has to take the shot because no one else is taking shots.
Right, and that's what I was going to mention. We need to also mention Fagundes that, he's the assist leader. I think he's still the assist leader.
Numbers suggest, I know he had the goal in this game, but he does not take a high volume of shots. He takes
but he and Driussi have a really good partnership that really should be explored more. Ring not so much. He needs to be more of the defensive central midfielder, and let those two guys roam around and create.
Because Ring is actually, he's a really good progressive passer.
Yeah,
he actually
he
can
really-
move the ball up the field, put him deeper, and let him do that work so Drewsy can
Exactly.
be the DP attacker
Right.
that we know he can be.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Play
I
to his strengths. I mean,
absolutely. I think that's something that Austin FC could do in their very next match to just improve their play in the attacking third. But just one other thing that I just want to bring up, and then we're actually going to have an interview with Diego Fagundes that we're going to play here shortly as well. But I have one more question for you guys. So that is the team as it stands right now. But I think we all would be in agreement that this team needs to add an attacking player.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any debate there.
Yeah.
So I'll start with you, David. What profile of attacking player do you think would most help this Austin FC attack? Do you think it's like a penalty box poacher? Do you think it's like a dribbly winger? Do you think it's like just an attacking midfielder who's going to make a crashing run into the box? Like what type of attacker does this Austin FC most need to help turn their stagnant attack around?
Well, definitely we need an attacker that can play with both legs easily. And also we need somebody with a lot of athleticism, somebody that's big. And a large guy that...
So it's a striker,
Campana, that's done a really good job right now for Inter. That type of tall and physical
I think that's who they
striker.
hope Gite to be, but he's not.
Yeah, it's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
We need somebody and they can break defenders just with power, overpower defenders. So that's the player that I think we need. I mean, more than anything, it's like a powerful number 9. Physical, at least 6 feet.
Okay, what about you?
I'm going to go a different route. I think a dribbler that can dribble into the box because
I think it can be the same guy.
It can be the same guy, but a guy that has peripheral vision. So he not only knows where to control the ball, he can decide either that guy's open more than I am, or I'm going to take a shot because the goalkeeper's distracted, and have immediate impact like that. And I think if you can get a guy tall, powerful or short, there's this Egyptian player that just
It's
got
because
released
overall,
that,
the point of view is based on the way we lose games. Like most of the games that Austin FC loses, is like that's what we need. We don't have we have too many small players. Like we are overpowered. If you don't have Keller or you don't have Gabrielson, you don't have anybody.
that is true.
So like you need to get. That's why I'm thinking. Like you need to think we need another big guy no matter what. And if it's a forward and he can dribble, way better.
I think I like what Jorge says. I think so often against these tight defenses, I think just having someone who can beat those defenders off the dribble will open up that space so much more. And I get your point, David, about having like a powerful presence in the box. But I think even more so now, this team doesn't hit a ton of crosses. We just talked about how the fullbacks are staying back. So they're not sending in a ton of crosses. So a big, tall aerial presence may not really suit how Austin FC want to attack under Josh Wolf, but a dribbly winger to help unlock those tight defenses, I think could do.
And I think,
be a real asset.
but I think part of the reason, going back to what he was saying, is that
Adama Traore, are you available? Because you would be
Mo Salah
great.
is, Mo Salah
great
is just
pick
left
for the team.
Liverpool too, just kind of throwing
Mo
that out
Salah
there.
and
But again, I don't think the wingers are throwing it into the box because we don't have that tall player, and because Gite is really not trusted.
Bit of a chicken
to be
and
that.
egg situation. Here,
Yeah,
isn't
I mean,
it? Huh?
it would be interesting if they end up getting a tall striker, a la Holland kind of type of player where he's really good with his feet, but he not excels because he didn't really do all that many headers.
No, Holland's not.
But
necessarily
he's a
big
presence in
aerial
the box,
presence.
and so if they can find
Presence.
a DP that's like that, I mean, they could really go either way. Tall defender, tall player that can dribble.
I mean, it
or
doesn't
a
need
short
to
guy
be
that can
that
dribble
tall. I
around
mean,
the
it
box.
can be 5'10". It's like 5'10".
No, they don't. They don't need a
So
mess.
are you going to have a
5'10".
ruler out whenever the signing comes in to see?
The thing is they have to be strong enough to dribble.
Because MLS is a physical
yeah.
league, and so they're very physical. They're not that
And
finesse.
honestly, you don't
So-
you don't need to be that tall. I mean, you can be like a
you
short
can be,
Romario, like a Romario type of player that he's gonna break anybody.
that'd be great.
It
So
change
I think
speed, somebody with high change
a
speed.
hybrid of those two would probably be.
But can we find a Romario? I don't know. There is some tryouts for the Barcelona team under 19.
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah, I think bottom line, Austin FC, they need new players. I think that is the biggest takeaway of this discussion. Jerry, producer Jerry, I am told you have Diego Fagundes lined up for an interview. Okay, so we're about to hear from Diego Fagundes. This comes from the press conference that Austin FC just had. I am stalling while we wait for this to show up. Do you guys have anything you'd like to say? Okay, I think we're good to go.
Gracias, Diego. Primeramente, tu sentir de 2 goles en las últimas 2 visitas. ¿Cuál es tu sentir primeramente de eso?
No, la verdad que muy feliz de poder lograr hacer el gol, pero como todo, cuando haces un gol y el equipo no gana, nunca vas a estar feliz. Es algo que todos los jugadores saben, pero lo importante es que estamos en estamos teniendo un buen año. Creo que la gente tiene que acordarse de lo que estamos logrando, pero que todavía falta mucho. Ahora hay que tomar nuestros días libres, descansar el cuerpo, pensar de lo que estamos haciendo, y cuando empecemos otra vez hay que estar todo listo para pelear otra vez, porque los partidos no se van a poner más fáciles.
Le preguntaba a Josh hace una semana, le decía que por qué te saca a ti. Él me dijo que por cansancio. Antes no te cansabas.
Capaz que veo que estoy cansado, pero si me pone 90 voy a jugar 90. Creo que la gente supo lo que pude lograr en San Antonio cuando jugué 120, fue decisión mía. Yo le dije, no quiero terminar el partido. Creo que el cuerpo ya sabe que puedo hacerlo, creo que la gente sabe, pero si ellos capaz que piensan que estoy cansado, es decisión de ellos. Me gustaría terminar todos los partidos 90, claro, pero la decisión la tienen que hacer ellos. Hoy que un poco enojado quedé, pero como todo, hay que respetar las decisiones, y capaz que entraba otro y agarraba con unas piernas más frescas y entraba y cambiaba el partido. Entonces, no importa si salgo o estoy jugando 90, hay que seguir para adelante, hay que estar feliz, hay que darle ánimo, y como todo, cuando entró Felipe, él tiene que entrar y darle la fuerza al equipo y la energía.
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys translate that for me? Because I have no idea what was just said.
Our esteemed Jorge Iturralde asked him if he felt, he scored 2 goals in the last 2 games, how he felt about that. And he honestly answered pretty rightly. He said, it feels good to score 2 goals, but they came in losses. And so they don't feel as important as they should have. And then the next question was how does he feel about being substituted because the coaches felt he was tired? And he's a professional player. No player is going to say, "Oh, I'm glad he sat me down." No, any player wants to play the whole game. And he did mention that he played 120 minutes in San Antonio.
He did,
without getting tired.
Yeah.
So, but he said that that's the coach's decision. He put Felipe Martins, who we agree did nothing.
Did not play very well.
And
so by very respectful.
Very respectful.
I'm
very diplomatic answer.
I mean, I didn't agree with the decision, but I'm not the boss. So.
Yeah, and he said I wasn't happy about it, but that's the coach's decision.
And that's been an issue for the last 2 games. Like every time Fagundes is out of the field, we have
the only time they should sit him down is when Austin FC is leading. That's the only time they should set him down.
I wouldn't, because Fagundes should play all the games.
He should play all the games all the time. But we don't want to tire the guy either.
Yeah.
I mean,
if
there's a 3-1 game out there that Austin FC is leading, sit him down, give him a break.
The problem is,
if you're chasing a match, you'd rather have Diego Fagundes than Felipe Martins any day of the week.
Yes, absolutely.
And again,
even a tired Diego Fagundes over a fully rested.
Better option, yes. So.
And even Valencia didn't even show up. I don't know why.
Valencia did not show up either. That was a weird game.
Like,
it was a weird game.
Why? I don't know.
It was a weird game.
I think we're ready to move on to the Champions League final. I want to talk about that. Do you guys have any final Austin FC thoughts you'd like to?
Well, the only thing I really want to emphasize that was very beautiful to see the Uvalde support from all the teams.
That is true.
Yes,
we do want to mention that.
All the teams from
both,
Texas.
Both the teams, Texas teams, and their
Dash
their
from
opponents,
Houston,
the Houston Dash,
and the Dallas.
Philadelphia Union did a very good demonstration, I guess, if you will.
Everybody
wearing
wore
that
patches
shirt.
during the games.
Yeah, so it was.
And then they clearly say no more gun violence. So
Yeah.
that was
I think
that's
that
a very
was
important message because
very important
Uvalde
message.
is so close to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a teacher and
Yeah.
I'm sure that
so that's the situation.
puts
where-
a lot.
I
lot
didn't
more
want to
from
even
you.
want to watch it. I didn't. Now I was avoiding it until the last night for the first time I watched the news. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm
oh
sure
my God.
I
needed to watch it, but anyways, I think that was an important thing that happened this week.
Yeah, very,
absolutely.
very well said, you guys. Very well said. And definitely,
United through
Yeah.
absolutely, Jerry. Okay, so let's talk a little Champions League final. Pretty big game on Saturday, huh? Real Madrid 1-0 winners over Liverpool for the 14th time.
14th.
14, Davi, for the 14th
14th,
time in
14th
their
time.
history. Real Madrid, European champions. Did they
Campeones, campeones.
sing it, David? Sing it. Okay, so did Real Madrid
Not my
deserve to not your team?
No,
Okay,
not my team
Did
either.
Real Madrid deserve to win this match? I believe they were outshot. I think 24-4.
Yeah,
were the
something-
numbers on that?
yeah,
So
yeah.
did they deserve this, Real?
They did because even the first goal that Benzema, I don't know what that goal was not allowed.
Yeah,
what was wrong with it?
I have
There was
some questions
nothing
about
wrong
that,
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was off.
That's totally
That should've
clean
counted.
goal.
Yeah, that should've
I
counted.
don't know you guys, but
I think the
I think-
argument was that it was not a deliberate attempt to play the ball because it went off his knee, and you don't necessarily technically deliberately try and play the ball with your knee. But he was sliding in to make a challenge on the ball, and the knee was the body part that happened to touch it. So yeah, to me, the goal
Yeah,
should
they should have counted.
it should have counted because they have two chances, and the chance that they had it, they put it in, and the cross from Valverde to Vinicius.
So that was the cross, because the people were saying he meant to shoot that, and then it just happened to go.
That's what I thought.
Wha-
That was my first.
Whatever happens.
It was my first impression.
However,
Hey, it was my
goes in,
first
that's
impression
fine.
was that, but I have to say that Valverde, that's what he does the most. He does that cross.
Yeah,
you know.
he got it there. He got it there.
And Vinicius say, I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it, and like, if he can cross it, I'm gonna put it in.
He's an excellent player.
And
isn't he?
Vinicius, what,
He's a
21
genuine
years
star,
old.
right?
Yeah.
21
Genuine
years old, and now it's already won. He make history with Real Madrid, scoring the goal in the final against Liverpool, and raising the 14 La Orejona for the 14th time.
There's Benzema.
right
How many?
there.
5? You say 5? He already
He's
got
been
5.
part of
So they've won 5 of the last 9 Champions
Jesus.
League.
Wow.
And so here's
That's
the thing.
I
Here's,
mean,
here's
it's
the
hard not
question.
to be a Real Madrid
It's
fan.
impressive. Yeah.
It's like,
Just jumping on the bandwagon, aren't you?
I don't
David?
think. Yeah, no, I'm never gonna do that. But
And there is definitely
and that was the
man of
hero.
match.
8
Eden
saves.
Hazard. Congratulations, Eden Hazard.
Two
Chelsea
Belgium.
legend, man of the
2
match.
Belgium, 1 Walloon, 1 Flemish. But anyways, the Walloon one
Yeah,
got
but
got-
but
the
Courtois,
Ballon got
he
the-
played.
Courtois, man of the match for
Oh,
for you
definitely.
guys?
by far,
By far,
8.
yeah.
I mean, that save the one to Mohamed Salah when he ran all the way from the other
Yeah,
side.
that was
just
impressive.
like superhuman.
Yeah.
Superhuman.
He
Like
did
3
a
of the saves, and the
fantastic
Sadio
job.
Mane, also the Sadio Mane. in the
Sadio
first
Mane
half.
shot. Yeah.
That was like it barely touched it, but the other one, the last one with Salah, when Salah controlled the ball perfectly, and then he just barely touches Courtois.
Yeah, Courtois.
I mean, he was just
He was
like,
it was a match
and
of
he
his
said
life.
it. I'm not gonna allow any goal. I mean,
He did
and
say
his
it.
Spanish
Yeah.
is perfect. I was like, he doesn't even have an
He's
accent.
French, right?
He doesn't.
So-
No,
yeah,
Belgium.
He's
Belgium.
It's a, it's a
Belgian.
French speaking,
Yeah, speaks
Valois,
Yeah.
speak French speaking area, but he's Spanish is like
Well, I mean, if
amazing.
you
Well,
work,
But
in
he
Atletico,
is the man of the,
work
the
in
match.
Spain.
He is the man of the
needs to
match.
Be in there, yeah.
He's the man of the match.
And that's why I do kind of push back against the, Liverpool were unlucky, because I think Courtois, I mean, he's an outstanding goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And he is paid like an outstanding goalkeeper, and you kind of expect an outstanding goalkeeper to do outstanding
What he
things.
did, yeah.
Exactly. So that's not necessarily bad luck for Liverpool. Like you know that Courtois is going to be just a monster to try and beat.
Right.
But the question I have is, okay, so they've won 5 of the last 9 Champions Leagues now, Jorge.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, in this competition, from at the very least the quarterfinal stage onward, I think it's fair to say they were underdogs.
They were
underdogs against
yeah.
Chelsea, underdogs against Manchester City, certainly, and underdogs against Liverpool. And I think you'd even say underdogs against PSG.
PSG. Yeah, they were underdogs. I mean,
Why do people keep underestimating this team despite all of the success that they've had?
Because adding to that, I think they were ahead in La Liga all season long.
Yeah.
You know, they
Yep.
by far.
Most
If
of
I'm
them.
not mistaken. Not at the beginning.
It should be noted, all of us did pick Real Madrid to win this match.
No,
all of us
I picked Liverpool.
No, I picked
I was iffy.
I picked
I think I was
Liverpool,
iffy.
did. You picked Liverpool?
Yeah, I
you
picked
flipped around so many times, I lost track of who you picked, David.
Yeah, I
picked
did pick
Liverpool.
Liverpool, but then I thought about it and I said it was a toss-up. So
Yeah, but
I'm
I
happy
picked
with
Liverpool.
either team.
So what
that
was
won.
your? You
I
picked,
picked Real.
You picked
yeah, you won. You're a winner. You're no chicken, no pollo.
No, certainly not.
I thought Liverpool would play better knowing that they almost got the Premiership. I thought they have a
So they'd be
little
motivated by
little
their
bit
They
of
could have got
motivation.
4, and they got the 2 least important ones.
Yeah.
So, okay, last week we talked
But
about
Mourinho
this.
got 1 too.
We talked about this last week. So, is this a disappointing season for Liverpool to only have those 2 domestic cup trophies?
What do they say about the second place team is the biggest loser?
The first loser.
The first loser.
If you're not first, you're last. Is
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby.
But
And that's
it-
what happened
but it's
twice
still with the
consecutive weeks. So
And
I-
this is
ooh.
3 finals too.
3
where they didn't score a
finals.
goal.
No.
in regulation. So
So that's kind of interesting.
That-
I mean,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
the
okay.
substitutions were like
a little strange.
Firmino.
odd. Yeah.
I was expecting. I don't
Firmino
know
has been
Milner.
off
I
this
was
season.
expecting Milner to come in.
Somebody.
Like
Milner?
yeah.
James Milner?
Yeah, wasn't he playing for Liverpool?
He doesn't play for Liverpool. I'm not sure I would have brought him on chasing a match down 1-0.
No, he doesn't play for Liverpool.
He does play for Liverpool, but I'm just saying I don't know if that's the sub I would have made.
For Henderson in the second half. I would have done that. I mean, I see it. But anyways,
I love James Milner, but I don't know if he's the guy I would have whenever you're chasing.
I mean, Firmino was good, but then the other sub was what? I didn't think Luis Diaz's substitution was a good idea.
No,
Luis Diaz was not good in this game, though.
No.
No,
I was
it was
all ready
not.
to wear my Columbia jersey.
but it
in
was not
case
good.
he
But
did-
I don't
did
think that was
well,
the right
but-
substitution. I don't think. I mean, what was the other option that he had? He had in the bench a club could have done a little bit better. I think he could have done. I don't know, but kudos to Real Madrid that they beat everybody. They beat
And Carlo Ancelotti.
I mean, and history.
Yeah.
They made history, and Ancelotti got 4.
I saw some graphics somewhere where Carlo Ancelotti has won the Champions League in the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s.
So that means
That's
he has
4
won it in
decades.
2 millennials.
Jeez.
In 2 centuries.
4 decades and 2 centuries of winning.
centuries.
It's remarkable.
That's impressive.
So, David,
But-
how will history remember this Real Madrid team? Are they going to remember them as a great team or as a lucky team? How do you think history is going to remember them? Because again, like going into this match, everyone was doubting them. Everyone was doubting, despite all the success.
Historic team.
As
I
a-
agree.
Historic
I agree.
team,
As a-
because they made history by beating
The
all
best
the
of the
odds
best.
and beating. I mean, and turning all the games around. All the biggest teams in the world, like the number 1 teams in the world, PSG, Chelsea, Liverpool, were beaten by history. Like
I mean, they-
Guardiola said, if we're gonna beat Real Madrid, we need to beat history, and he did it.
He didn't
It-
get
So
it.
who's going to be better remembered?
History was in the side of Real Madrid from the beginning.
Yeah.
You and those ghosts, David. But who is going to be better remembered? This Real Madrid team with all their Champions Leagues or the Pep Guardiola City teams that have played sparkling football, one domestically, but to this point have yet to win the Champions League. Like if the world ended tomorrow, which Lord knows it might,
Right.
if it does, who is better remembered as the earth is ending? Who is better remembered? This Real Madrid team or the Manchester City team?
I think that the Real Madrid team, and this
You
is
think
the
so?
reason why, because they've done it with different coaches, and
2 different ones.
whereas Pep Guardiola, he guided them to the brink, but didn't get it done, and so
He got one more chance.
he'll get several more chances, I think, but
But with Manchester City, he should not get more than one chance. I mean, that's it.
So you would give him one season.
Yeah,
if he doesn't
that's
win
it.
it, then
That's
he's
it,
out.
That's it. Over.
Even
That's
if
it.
he wins the league.
Yeah, because he's mentally he's not gonna be ready. I mean, it's like I'm a loser.
it might start to creep in with him. I don't think he's gonna lose her.
I'm a Champions League loser. No, I'm not gonna keep losing. championship.
You're worried about the mental psyche of these coaches. You think Pep is
it's important that
Pep.
psychology and psychiatry especially are very important in any team.
But another thing that we could probably mention is that Marcelo announced that this was his last game for Real Madrid. Mo Salah announced that this was his last game for Liverpool as well. It was a weekend. Yeah, I think he's not signed.
I didn't see that. So
But
I
know that
just broke.
I know that Sadio Mane is likely going to Bayern Munich.
that is I've seen
one.
that is picking up some steam.
And Lewandowski's his last game with Bayern Munich. So there's a lot of movement that's going to happen.
It's going to be a lot of changes.
There's going to be a lot of changes
fun.
over the
So
summer.
We'll have a big break.
So we have a lot to look forward to. And kind of speaking of that, after the match, Jurgen Klopp told Liverpool fans not to worry. Make sure you book your trip to next season's Champions League final.
I know.
So
Where?
I'm not sure where it's at.
Okay.
I'm not a Liverpool fan, so I'm not
question.
gonna book a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm not a Liverpool fan. So, of these two teams, Real Madrid, Liverpool, who is more likely to be in next season's Champions League final? David.
Of
Liverpool or
Liverpool
Real?
or Real Madrid?
I mean, Real Madrid is not going to have it. It's going to have a different coach, right?
You don't think Ancelotti's
You don't
coming
think
back?
Actually,
He's
didn't he
back?
say it was going to be his last game last season?
I think he comes back.
That's what he said.
he's
If
gonna
you're
come
saying
back.
that it was his last season.
I mean,
okay.
the enticement
It's
to
gonna-
defend the Champions League is too high. He's going to come back.
Well, if without Mane,
So-
without Sadio Mohamed
If-
Salah, it would
I'll
be
say-
very hard for Liverpool to get back.
I'll say this: if Ancelotti comes back, Real Madrid comes back.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, Liverpool goes.
And likewise, I don't have to repeat that.
Okay, easy. Okay. So we've talked Champions League final. There's
Yeah.
another big final that
Yeah.
took place this
That was
weekend.
exciting.
Actually, a couple, but we'll start with Liga MX
Liga
final.
MX.
Yeah, that was
Atlas,
great. That was good.
second straight title. There they are.
Two in a row
Bicampeonato.
after 70 years.
And
70
Bicampeonato. Suddenly
had to
they're
wait
hot.
70 years and then boom, back to
Boom,
back.
back to
Two in
back.
a row.
Congratulations to those
Record
guys.
Atlas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do we have the video footage on this one, Jerry, that we can cue up? I think we've got some
Bicampeón
highlights.
by champion. Campeones.
Sing again. Doug.
Everybody was singing campeones, campeones. Even Atlas and Real Madrid. They were both
popular song.
at the
Popular song
moment
this
of the. I mean,
Yeah, it was-
I don't
it was
know
a-
who
it was
got
a
it
great
very
final. It
popular,
was a
but
great final.
they sing it in every continent.
Yeah, it's just
How have they
soccer.
done this, Jorge? Like, how has this Atlas team won these two straight?
It's obviously a combination of coaching and players. I mean, they've got some excellent players that were just able to gel pretty quickly from last season. And Atlas was not the best team; it was Puebla.
I noticed in the
they were the better
stats,
team.
They definitely had more shots, more
Yeah,
possession.
Atlas was
Puebla or you mean
when a-
Pachuca?
Pachuca, I'm sorry. I keep getting those two confused.
Pachuca.
But Atlas
Tufos.
didn't play all that well all season, but they played together. They played sufficiently well that once they got to the final, they just knew what to do, and they playing, even playing away, they played
Que
well.
golazo.
That was a great
That was a
goal.
good goal.
That was an outstanding
Romario's goal. That was
That was a good
beautiful.
goal. Yeah,
Such a tight angle that you get that
Ecuadorian.
from.
yeah.
Ecuadorian player, a couple of great players.
Yeah,
for Pachuca.
that's one thing
And it was
like.
so close. That
Yeah.
game was extremely.
That's one thing I love about Liga MX is that really the players that play there have such a great
And that penalty well
look
taken too.
at angles. They can
And
shoot the
that-
ball in.
Chicharito, I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
fair to say.
absolutely.
And that penalty, I think, kind of brought back Atlas from.
Yeah,
Because Pachuca was really getting closer and closer. I
They
mean,
were
if
getting
they
closer
were-
and closer. It was a
they
good
turned
game.
it
It was a
around.
tight game, yeah.
They turned around the game, and at the end, with the last one, Atlas won.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was so close.
Yeah,
And this is
absolutely. Would you say just to kind of tie things?
That header
Oh,
was an
yeah,
amazing
that
header
was.
by I think Ibanez, by the Argentinian forward. That's the number 9. That's the player that Austin FC needs.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
guy.
somebody
That type
like
of big, tall.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, a
header,
striker that
Ibanez.
would make that
Yeah.
run. Oh my
Yeah.
word! What I wouldn't give.
What the other players can do, Driussi and Fagundes, to have a guy like that can finish. Oh, jeez.
Just to make that
Good
that
Lord.
little back run.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's incredible. So,
Anyways,
just gotta tie things up here. Pachuca, they're gonna be in town.
yeah, they're going to be.
They're gonna be in
Pachuca is
town.
coming to town.
They're gonna be here June 11th. What can Austin FC fans expect from Pachuca when they visit? You think it's gonna be a rotated squad? Or?
Wolf better send his scouts out there because they've got some good players too. So, I expect them to be. They probably gave their players the days off. It was a long season, and so I will probably see a lot of substitutes, a lot of 3-numbered players, in the 300s and stuff. And
I love that. I love those triple digit
probably the
numbers.
same thing for Austin FC. They're probably going to start experimenting with some interesting lineups.
Austin Pachuca, June 11, 8 p.m. Q2 Stadium.
And that's the day after the U.S. plays in the same field.
Q2 is gonna be the place
It's gonna
to
be
be
a rocket.
coming up. Yeah,
It's gonna be a great-
fun.
I'll
gonna
be
be
in
fun.
Chile then, but good luck.
You can watch from Chile. You can watch from Chile.
Yeah, so we Austin FC, a little bit of a break as far as competitive matches go. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break here as well as we wrap up this week's show. But fear not, everyone, we will be back. Long live football in Vivo.
Yes.
We'll do this again. Thanks, everyone. Thank you to Jerry. ClubDeportes.com. Visit it every single day, like David Alvarez. Appreciate it, everyone.
Every
Thank you.
day. Carlos Vela.
Where did that come from?
It was dangerous. That's the way it says it.
Oh, okay.